Luke Thomas at the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas, next to the recent, well, not recent, but the promoted Bellator Kickboxing signee, Keri Anne Taylor-Melendez. I always mess that up. I want to make sure I got that right. Thank you for your time today. So you came off that Glory fight. Now you're being pushed into that. What did that experience really tell you about how to do your career in the next chapter correctly?
That experience, just the whole media and such a big show, it was just so new for me. And then getting that over with, now I just feel a little bit more comfortable and I'm excited. And, when they announced that there was going to be more kickboxing and they offered me a kickboxing fight, I was even more excited because now I can get back in the ring and do some more damage before I make my MMA debut.
So going back to that, as you look back on that experience, did you feel like you were a little, you fought hard, I don't mean that so much, but in the time leading up to it, a little sheepish, a little quiet, maybe demure?
Yes, but I think in general I'm a very quiet person, so I don't think that was a new thing, but hopefully I try to keep coming out of my shell.
And now heading into this feels different, doesn't it, right? You're sort of, you were with Glory before, but it wasn't really with Glory necessarily, was it? Let me ask you, is your contract with them, it's over, right?
I never had a contract with Glory.
It was strictly with Bellator?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so did you sign a new one as they announced this, or did you know this was coming?
No, I didn't sign a new one. I just signed a 3-fight deal, and for my first one, they offered me a kickboxing, and I was like, sure.
I see. So you have, is it your choice to say, next fight I want to do MMA, next fight I want to do kickboxing? Do you have that kind of control?
I would like to think so. I'm going, they offered me, and I said yes. I couldn't imagine if I said no, but I did say yes. So, but I think Scott Coker, he's been really great to me, so I can imagine him having a problem with if I wanted to do MMA next.
Scott Coker. Paul Daly has told me he's had issues going back and forth from MMA to kickboxing. The gloves are smaller, the range is different. Do you share any of those concerns?
I'm not too sure yet. I'll tell you after my MMA debut, but in training so far, things are definitely different, but I've adjusted well.
Do you believe that, to what extent can women, they raised the profile of the UFC, do you think they can do the same, not just for Bellator, but for kickboxing uniquely?
I do believe so. I think there's plenty of talented kickboxing women who will come out here and put on a great show and just create more fans and a big buzz about us. So I think that, yes, there's a possibility for that.
How soon do you want to get back to competing?
I'm hoping to fight by, I think in May. I heard a card that there's going to be a card in May, so I hope to get on that card.
And realistically speaking, you got a husband. I don't know if you have pets, but I know you got a gym. You got a lot going on. How often can you really compete in a full year, assuming you stay healthy?
The 2016, I plan to fight 3 times, whether it's 2 kickboxing, 1 MMA, or 1 kickboxing, 2 MMAs. So that's my goal. And it's going to be difficult, but I'm lucky I have a lot of family. I have a lot of help. My mother lives with us, so I'm lucky in that aspect.
If I may, I want to get your perspective on some of the controversy that's been surrounding Ronda Rousey a little bit, especially regarding the suicide comments and how she dealt with that, or how she's presented that after the fact. Do you have any perspective on it? Like, what do you make of A, how she's reacted, and B, how the public's reacted to her?
That's a very sensitive subject for me because I've dealt with suicide with someone very close to me. So just suicide in general, I get a little bit emotional. So I'm not really in a good place to even speak about it. But I'm just glad that she has support around her and can overcome any of those feelings.
Do you believe she'll bounce back?
I definitely do. I think she's a warrior. I think she's an athlete. And I think she's a competitor.
Here's a question, though. Should she get a tune-up fight before the home fight?
I think she is a professional and she can make that judgment on what she wants to do. I think she's skilled enough, but if she's doing too many movies or too many outside obligations, why not have a different fight before she fights Holly?
And is there anyone you have in mind about your next fight? Is there someone you've isolated, or is it more of you sort of trust the powers that be to put you in the right fight at the right time?
I think I'm going to trust Scott Coker and my management just because I don't know the complete roster. I know that they've signed, I keep reading about all these new women that they've signed, but I don't know if they're kickboxing or MMA, so I'm not too sure.
Well, we wish you best of luck in 2016, and thank you for your time today.
Thank you for having me.